Yo, day whatever of the league. Just wanted to go over my farm, which has been Jungle Valley ambush boxes and how the build's been going. If you want some Berserker tips, Echoes of Creation, my upgrades, and survival and stuff like that, I'll have that towards the end of the video. But for now, let's just talk about the farm. So I know it's a little bit scary, okay? We're pretty early in the league. Some of you still, casual dad gamers going through only just getting to yellow or red maps. And I'm going to talk about tier 17s. But there's some pretty valuable tips here. And I think a lot of people are going to have a much better time in tier 17s than they did before, even if there's still some annoyance there. So for tier 17s, why I am in a tier 17 and why I was doing them was just to farm 8 mod maps. T17s are actually a great place to farm 8 mod. So if you don't know, 8 mod map is just a map that's dropped and it's corrupted and it has 8 mods on it, whereas you can normally only have 6. You get the corrupted 8 mods and they get those extra 2, so they're juicier. You get more pack size, you get more quant, and that pairs perfectly with running Jungle Valley and blue altars and opening a bunch of ambush strong boxes. So T17s are a great place to farm these 8 mod maps, and I'll go over the tree and the scarabs, but just about farming the T17s. Something that you'll have to do if you want to do this are a couple things to make it easier for you. So I did 2 regexes. I went through, and I'll post them in the YouTube description. I'll just have like a little section there if you're playing Berserker slams. These are the ones I was doing. There might still be some mods, but it's at least a decent start that'll get you well enough into doable tier 17s, or I should say more doable. The bosses can still be rough. I might even die in this clip. I don't know. This is just yoinked from yesterday's stream. You can always go watch my VOD and, catch whatever. I do it all live, right? The bosses are still a little bit rough, and until you get geared out, and I have pretty nice gear, right? You might just want to skip them if you're just trying to get the 8 mods. But some things that make it easier, like I said, the double regex. Another thing is I'm using Milky's Atlas tree, which we'll go over after this. And with Milky's Atlas tree, you pick up a lot of shrine stuff. Even if you're taking a lot of increased effective map mods, you take a lot of shrine nodes. And with those shrine nodes, it makes the actual running of the map a lot easier. Now, the bosses, especially on this map, I think this is like probably one of the worst bosses to do. Fortress, that big guy in the middle, that seems like an easy one for fragments. But the fragments from these sell for a pretty penny, so I don't mind fighting them. And it's like kind of fun. I don't know. I'm having fun with the build. I just like, it's nice. I'm doing maps, I'm doing jungle valleys, I do a ground slam, boom, everything gets exploded. So it's kind of nice to like have a little bit of difficulty. It's like, oh, you're actually gonna make me try. Like, I can't stand in the purple thing. Oh my gosh, right? My neurons are activated. It's kind of fun. I don't mind doing it. Like, whatever, dude. If I die once, it is what it is. So you could skip bosses, or you could do an easier one. Abomination's a little bit rough with the triple boss and the unholy whatever the hell going on. But shrines are a nice boost for just being able to run them. T17s on their own are already much easier than they were last league. And then another thing, if you'll notice down here, you'll see I'm running triple Ellie flasks. Now, I already have a ton of max res. I have some max res jewels. I've got max res on my body armor. I've got max res on the tree. And with these triple Ellie flasks, this actually gets me to 90 max res. Now, they're not up all of the time, but if I'm getting hit, they'll tend towards being up because I've rolled them with the gain 3 charges when hit and use on full. And so it's not totally optimal. I'm not pressing them. I could be pressing them, which might give me some more uptime. But like, my brain's off and I can kind of just like click stuff and fight the boss. This one was like, what is this? 170 more life and whatever the hell else. My auras don't work, which kind of, that's some damage. So it took a little bit, but I get some fragments, and some of these are worth like 60 chaos each. The blazing fragment is like 30 C, like whatever. I'll fight it. I'll fight a little boss. But Ellie Flask, shrines, and then reading your altars if you're doing these. Now you see my inventory. All those jungle valleys are 8 mod corrupteds. And so I get to filter through all of those for the ambush strategy. So let's go ahead. The rest of this is just like I run around and I fight, and I kill the T17 map. It's pretty simple. But let's go over the actual atlas for farming the tier 17 maps. It's exactly what you would expect, right? You get all the map stuff. This should be, I should be blocking more things here. I take some Scarab nodes, Singular Focus, and then all of your favorite slots are Jungle Valley, more map chance, Quant, Rarity, and then all the effect on the tree, because the tier 17s will have a modifier, and they should be rolled for that modifier that gives 100% increased chance to drop maps. And then that gets increased, you know, we get some more Scarabs. Blue altars can give quantity, but you have to read them to make sure you don't get. I clicked a gain fizz aura, and that made the boss a lot more rough. So you know, just be careful there. Also, you can quality your T17 maps now, so use your chisels, and you get even more increased effect of the map mods. But yeah, it's pretty simple. Now, as for the scarabs that you'll use, you're going to do 3 cartography of the multitude. This is all from Milky, by the way. I'm going to link Milky's. I should have said this way sooner. This is all Milky. The Milky T17 map stuff and the ambush strategy is. I just stole it from Milky's Google sheet. I'll have that linked down below. He's got a lot of great stuff. He's a great currency content creator. He's a homie. Okay, I love this man. He's great for TLI, great for PoE. He always puts the work in, and he has a great Google sheet with a lot of strategies that I can go to. If I'm getting bored of one, I'll go to the next. And, you know, if I'm having some problems, go hit him up on the stream and be like, hey, man, what do you think? What do I do? You know, whatever. Yeah, great guy. I don't know. I like him. He's a real one. Okay, scarabs. Cartography of the multitude. Sorry, I just had to fillet him real quick there. We use this because it gives a bunch of packs that give a bunch of maps. Pretty self-explanatory. The next scarab you use, so you use 3 of those, right? Add a bunch of packs. You use 1 cartography scarab of corruption. You know, we're farming 8 mods. So you got to use the scarab that gives you the 8 mod corrupted maps. And then for the last one, it's going to be the cartography scarab of escalation, which gives more map mods. Because we got a bunch of mods on the T17. We're going to get a bunch more maps in those. And then on the map device, all you do is blue altars, and you'll do domination to add more shrines. The shrines can make the bosses a lot easier. So if you're a little bit weaker, you could just pick up the shrines and head straight to the boss and try to blast them right away. But they also make the running of the map itself a lot easier too if you're weaker. And so it's actually not so bad to be able to farm some 8 mod jungle valleys in the tier 17s. As long as you roll them well, use some shrines, and maybe even pick up some maximum elemental resistance flasks. So that was really nice. I was really surprised at how much easier T17s were this league. It's, you know, especially with how intimidating and annoying, and just having like a fun little break from the Jungle Valley ambush, being able to farm my own maps. You know, I don't have to go buy 8 mods. I don't have to deal with any of that. I can just like get my own stash. And so that's what I did. We got, these were all the ones that I can do. And where were they? These are the crappy ones. Oh yeah, I just put all the crappy ones in here. So these were all the, some of these were from my old one, but a lot of the new ones right here, like these 3 rows, were just the ones that I can't do with this build. So I'm going to have my map runners do those, or I'll wait for my next build that might have a different regex of corrupted maps. But we got 40 of these, so now I'm going to do the ambush strategy on Jungle Valley. And so all that really entails is running through the map like this. Here, I'll go back a little bit. You run through, you don't open any of the boxes right away, but you run through, you kill all the influence monsters that spawn. You know, it's pretty comfy on like Ground Slam. I've even automated like Seismic, so I'm not even like pressing Seismic. I'll read the altars just so that I know what's up. And really all I'm looking for is like a Greater Eldritch or Divine. Just so that I know in the end, after I've run all the maps and all the altars have spawned, I can see if I want to go back to the start to click that altar that'll drop me Greater or Grand Eldritch or Eker Embers. Or if I hit a Divine, you know, I know not to click any of the other altars before or until I click that one, right? Otherwise, all you do is you just click Quantity, Ekers, right? Those sell for like 2 or 3 C each. You'd click that. Or you just do like Scarab Dupe or whatever dupe. And on this build, you should not click minus physical damage reduction or reduced recovery for endurance charge. You can do reduced defense and just take your blood rage out if you really want. But most of the time, I'll just like not bother. I'll just click the other altar mod. But you just run through, get all the altars. You'll do the bismuth, because apparently if you do those, they'll like, bismuth buffs the rest of the monsters in the map. You just get a bunch of quant, and then you go through and you click all the boxes, right? After you've boosted the quantity up, after you do all this, and it might be like a little bit annoying and whatever to do the map and then click the altars and then do your boxes. But the way I think of it is when I get that divine altar, I am totally set up. I'm in an 8-mod map. All my altars have not yet been clicked, and I am 100% set up to get a ton of divines when I get it. Okay, because I will get it. Versus you click the altars as you go, and you might hit divine altar on the very last altar, and now you have no more altars that are spawning packs of monsters that you can choose, duplicate currency on, etc., etc. And so, yeah, that's my cope at least. It's not too bad. I've got Leaf Slam. I'm running around. Jungle Valley's not too bad. One quick thing, why you do Jungle Valley, if you notice the altar mods, none of them have the map boss gains whatever modifier. That's why you run on Jungle Valley, because the spider's in the air. It hasn't spawned. So none of the altars can have the map boss stuff until you enter the arena and start the boss fight. So that's why everybody runs Jungle Valley. It just gives you better altar mods. For red altars, for blue altars, it's like the premier map of choice. So then you just click a bunch of altars, and you click all your strong boxes, and the strong boxes give pretty decent gold, right? I'm getting, I think it was like 20 to 25k on the 8 mods, 20 to 25k per map gold, and then you get a bunch of currency. So you're getting raw currency drops, you're getting random jungle valleys that you can sell. Well, but really I was running those, so I didn't even really care about those. I was corrupting mine before I did the T17 thing to try and get some 8 mods. But the T17s were just so much easier. I'm disappointed I didn't do that earlier, but it is what it is. You get some random div cards that'll sell, right? So you get like random 6-link cards, random divine cards, right? And you might think like it's a little bit lucky, but man, when you open 200 boxes and, like 500 divine cards or divination cards drop, you are going to get some decent ones. It's not luck when you can keep hitting it like that. I'm not saying I got a head on her card and I count that. I'm not going to talk about divine per hour. All of this stuff is changing so fast this early in the league. I just know I'm making currency. I'm happy with the farm. I'm having a good time. It's fun. And like, I do 20 maps and I get 25 divines out of it. It's something like that, right? Yeah, I put 10 in and I get 25 div out. Like, I'm happy, whatever that is, however fast I could do them, however fast you could do them, whatever the prices happen, I know it's going to be profitable. And that was before I was even doing 8 mods. Those were like, I in a set of 20, I had like 5 actual 8 mods and the rest were like 70 quant. It was trash. So now I'm going to make even more on today's stream. I'm so excited. But that's the strategy I've been doing. It's pretty nice. And I'm excited to do it with real T17 farmed 8 mod maps. But yeah, it's strong boxes, man. They're easy. You just click stuff. I get a nice amount of gold. What is there not to like? As for the strong box tree, we'll go over that quick. Again, from Milky, exactly what you'd expect. Singular focus, so I only get jungle valleys. You're going to block scarabs. Oh, you also get some decent scarabs too. And then you just take the ambush stuff. So you block all the bad scarabs, take the Nico nodes. This is just for damage, move speed. But more so, when you get the sulfite, the doomed spirits will actually, when you click the sulfite node, they'll give some extra strong boxes or shrine buffs sometimes. Because I don't know, he's crazy or something. So I don't even know if the strong boxes are real, but I click them and they give loot. So maybe if it's all in my head, but I can still trade it, then who cares? Okay, anyways, strong box, map chance. I got to do my imitations. I'm missing a little bit there. Double all the everything, the blue altars, the scarabs, the effect. Missing a couple points. I'll probably just get those last 5 points today, just so I can get the extra map chance and, a valuable pack and an extra Nico node. And then I like to do the ambush scarabs because these are very valuable. And they're a little bit expensive, but, it's because it's worth it. They're like, we'll talk about the scarabs, I guess. That is the next step. For the ambush scarabs, you'll do 2 of these, and these are about like 8 or 9 chaos each. What are they? Yeah, they're like 9C. You'll do 2 of these. You'll do a potency, so 75 increased effect of the mods on your boxes. So you're going to give up 5 strong boxes to just make all of the other, so around like 15 or 14 of them. have 75 increase effect of their explicits. So they'll drop more items and, you know, they'll just be better. Spawn more monsters and all that. 15% chance to open strong boxes again. And then strong boxes in area are more likely to be a rare variety. So ambush, ambush, ambush of potency, ambush of hidden compartments, and ambush of discernment. This one's getting a little more expensive. I think it's like 20 something chaos. Yeah, I was doing 20, now they're 26. The strategy, you know, if the margins were that small, then it wouldn't have been a good farm. So an extra 5 chaos for that one scarab compared to yesterday's fine. And then these are just like 3 or 4. This one is like 2 chaos. So you do have a little bit of an entry cost. And I probably will do a video of like more budget strategies, but this is just a nice one if, you know, you want something to look forward to, or if you're looking for a kind of more juicy farm to invest into, which you always should, right? You should start with an Elk and Go, and then you should get something after you buy some upgrades with your Elk and Go strat to make your build comfy, right? And that's, for me, it was like yellow map essences. I did that till my build was comfy, and then I did that a little bit more so I could get some currency to do a strategy like this. And then I start ramping and buying more supplies and getting better upgrades and going from there. But then you just do ambush on the map device through the Kirek mod. But that is the strategy. That's what I've been farming. Now, let's go on to the build. So I've been getting some questions about like echoes and how to get some more survival because it's a Berserker. So let's just start with the survival stuff, and we can do Echoes of Creation because not too many people are going to be doing that yet. I mean, first off, I've been having a ton of fun on the build. But the thing is, with Berserker, you get all of your damage for free, but then your defense, you have to boost up with your upgrades, right? So your damage is really free. If you want your defense to be higher, you have to care. You have to give an F about your gear, okay? So some of those ways that you can care about your gear is going to be getting good armor bases. So number one, getting some of the new armor base slots, right? Titan gauntlets. I've got these gloves, which have some big armor on them. I got lucky on the T1 armor, T1 whatever, but I would have Eldritch Chaos'd and settled on like T3. Maybe I hit a big life and I craft an armor, right? This isn't like the most important one. Really, you just want res and suffix. You know, this was like buy a fractured base for 10 chaos, and I spammed like Shrieking Envy or something until I hit another res. And then you can always Ellie res swap on the harvest bench. So it doesn't matter which one you hit, right? But I wanted some chaos res. That's another big thing that you need to do is get some chaos res, or you're just going to die to chaos damage or chaos degen. This build is weak to degen, so we'll cover that later. These boots aren't a good armor base, but getting shock avoid here and having an abyss jewel with more shock avoid so that I'm now shock immune. That's nice. I'm not taking big spikes of damage from that ailment anymore. And I was socketing this on my tree until I got a belt yesterday. Another thing, your body armor, having a high armor base, but if you can't afford a high armor base, one of the new ones like a Titan plate or something, you could totally just get an old one and use a 5-link since you're a Berserker, but get 7 physical damage reduction, you know, 6 to 8 physical damage reduction on the body armor, and that implicit up top for 11 fizz taken as cold. And before echoes, you can get another like 6 or 7 physical taken as an element on your rare helmet as well. And that's also what I did before echoes. And then, of course, you want to try to get some more armor on this slot. Your body armor can get like 3.5 to 4K armor. Unfortunately, I have big life, T1% armor, and I hit T7 flat. But I got nice life regen, and I got nice PDR and an open suffix, so I'm settling on this because the life regen is really nice. Like I said, we're a little bit, not a little bit, we are susceptible to damage over time, especially with Rite of Ruin and all of our rage making us lose our life per rage. And so another thing you do is you should always have these life regen nodes, maybe even taking the mastery for a flat 50. I'm going to sell this quick, sorry. You know, 90 KS, I mean, can you blame me? But yeah, so I hit life regen here. I have life regen on my boots. I got life regen on my belt. And that alone is a reason for why you'd want to be upgrading your suffixes, right? You might say, well, my resistances are capped. You know, I got capped res, and maybe my chaos res, sure, it could be higher. No. Okay. When you get T1 res, okay? T1, right? You know, you get big res, T2, T3, maybe even, right? You get a couple big reses. Now my boots have an extra slot, right? Because I got chaos res here, I don't need to get chaos res on my boots. Now I can get life regen on my boots. Because I have big res in my rings, I don't need big res on my body armor. Now I can get physical damage reduction and life regen on my body armor. That's how you have to think. And that's how you upgrade your defenses, very basically. Now, for echoes, I did not have a lot of armor when I swapped to echoes, and I see a lot of people swapping to echo early because it gives you like 75% more damage. It's bananas. You also get an extra use on your war cries, which is really nice, right? For starting the map, I just press Enduring Cry twice, and I'm at max endurance charges. Beyond that, endurance charges while you're clearing. A lot of people are like, do I have to press Enduring Cry all the time? Hell no, you don't. I wouldn't be playing this build if you did. Okay, I press Enduring Cry when I'm doing T17 maps because I respec these for max res. But when I'm just mapping, I don't have to have any crazy defenses, right? I just have to have it to be okay. And so you get endurance charge on kill and charge duration. Now, you could do an Enduring Cry at the start of the map, and if you're echoes with low armor, you absolutely should because that first attack will chunk you. But after that, the endurance charge on kill and the charge duration will keep you topped off for the rest of the map with 20-second endurance charges. You could also give up a body armor implicit to generate endurance charge every 15-second mod, and then you have 100% uptime on those as well. But I'd rather have 2 max res here. And the thing is, like, for Enduring Cry, all you got to do then is while you wait for like a map boss or something, you just press Enduring Cry once, and it'll reset your endurance charges because you have war cries have a min of 10 power mastery. But yeah, that's endurance charge while you're clearing. It's really nice. The only buttons I'm pressing while I'm clearing are ground slam, leap slam, and that's it. I've even gone and just put seismic and auto exert, and I just say like, F it. I'm just gonna have the AoE all the time. I'll give up the armor for now because I've got some pretty nice armor. So like, screw it, dude. And I'll just press Infernal Cry and Enduring Cry while I wait for the spider boss to come down. And then that's it. I'm just running around right clicking. It's so nice. It's so nice to not have to press any war cries all the time. God bless auto exert. Another thing, it's expensive, but you can look forward to that upgrade, is a jewel like this. Now, 7% armor, I'm getting something like an extra 15 or 17,000 armor from this, which is nothing to scoff at. You know, I'm going from like 40 whatever K to 60K. Now, this jewel is like 7 div though, so, right? But that's not necessary. A cheaper option that you can do once you have some PDR and Fizz Shift for echoes is to grab the recoup mastery on these leech nodes. So 25 damage taken, recouped as life if leech was removed. This carried me. This PDR, Fizz Shift, that's it. That's all I had, right? And then I pressed my Enduring Cry. And that was enough for echoes. Now, there was still some times where if I had like a less recovery map and I started rolling over that mod, because if I didn't have that, you know, my leech isn't kicking in, my regen's not kicking in, the recoup's not kicking in as much, and then the echo starts hurting. So I just don't do that map mod. You know, some things like that. But, you know, the easy stuff is just the recoup, high armor, PDR, and making sure you have your endurance charges. And then echoes should be fine. You absolutely cannot just buy echoes while you have like dog water rares, right? Echoes, you need to earn it. You are taking a lot of damage. It will be uncomfortable. Do not buy it early. Okay, invest in your rare gear first, and then you get to earn that 75% more damage. Some other things I'm thinking for upgrading. Oh, also just, you know, have your flask, right? Roll your flask. Don't be a bum. Get like 3 charges on a granite so it's up all the time. And, you know, get reduced effective curses and whatever the hell. But, you know, now I'm feeling pretty comfortable. All I'm missing, I feel, is some recovery. And that's what I'm working on next. You see I have some life regen here. That's pretty helpful. What I'm going to work on next is trying to fit in a glorious vanity here, taking this keystone and getting, I believe it's Immortal Ambition. Now that will give me Overleech, and Overleech is really nice. That's going to make the build so much more comfortable to have Overleech all the time. And I might even go as far as taking these leech nodes right here, because this gives an extra 30 max, this gives a 40 max, and then the mastery will give 25 max. So I'll be getting I'll be getting 95 maximum total recovery from leech, from this node, and then 100 total. So if you don't know what that means, the 100 total recovery just makes my smaller hits leech better. So that's not really too important. It was really important, and why I picked these up in the POB that I had early on was the total recovery and, you know, all of this, and then the mastery for the total recovery. Gives attack speed early on. It's nice while leveling for white and yellow and early red maps. While you don't have much damage, that total recovery makes it easier for you to leech off your hits while you're not doing too much damage. On Berserker, it's not too much an issue. Jug would probably be a lot bigger. But the total maximum is increasing the max amount that you can leech. And so getting 95 means I'm nearly doubling the amount I can leech, and the base max life leech rate is 20% of my life per second. And so if I'm nearly doubling that, right, 95, it's going to be something like what, 39% of my life per second. That sounds very comfortable. With some life regen, that sounds very, very comfortable. So I'm very much looking forward to figuring that out, finding the points for it, or leveling up to fit it in, because then I've got a ton of resistance. With flasks, I'll be at 95. With a slight tree spec, I get an extra, what is this? So for fire res, I get 1, 3, I'm at 85 there, an extra 2 there, 2 there. So I'm at 85, 86, 85, and then I just use my flasks if I'm going to do an Uber Boss or a tier 17, and I'm at 90 max res with 5 endurance charges, and I believe I was at 60k armor without my flasks, with all the war cry, whatever. Oh, that's another thing. I'm so sorry. It's disjointed League Start. I just click record videos. You know, you listen to the ramble. Another thing is Warning Call. This is really nice, right? 100% armor, and then you get another however much from however much rage you have from this rage node. And you might not want a Berserk and all that either, but I'll link my POV. Some other random things I've done was, because I'm a bum and I don't want to press buttons, I link Automation, Molten Shell, Berserk, and Blood Rage. Now, you could do cast some damage taken Molten Shell and it'll trigger your echoes all the time, but I like this because I can have a max raise Molten Shell. I can have my Berserk popping all the time, so while I'm clearing a map, I don't even have to press Berserk. You know, my War Cries are generating rage. That War Cries have 10 min power. And then I have the War Cry Mastery, where they give rage per power. So that's really nice. I get rage all the time. I'm getting rage on hit from all the rage nodes. From my War Cries, Berserk's up. I get the attack speed from Berserker. I get the more damage all the time. You know, I get the rage effect and all of that. And it, you know, it's nice. I don't have to press any buttons. Like I said, all I'm doing is right clicking. And then I press, you know, my Infernal or Enduring. You know, really it'd be like Seismic or whatever. And then the one thing is for Earth Shatter, for those of you who are doing tier 17s, you will want to do Earth Shatter instead of Ground Slam. I do Close Combat too, just to give me more attack speed on my Leaf Slam. I do this instead of, I believe it's Brutality. Yeah, I do that instead of Brutality. You will swap in Earth Shatter though. So you'll swap Earth Shatter in here, and you'll also want to swap out a Battle Mage Cry for a General's Cry. And that will pop your spikes much faster for you. Right, so these spikes, they explode when you War Cry. General Cry has lower cooldown. Did I cover this in the other video? I get a lot of questions about that. And so you do a little bit of changing things around, and then you would obviously have, like, for tier 17 maps, you would re-put your Infernal Cry in your axe, and you'd be manually casting Seismic Cry so you get the extra armor. Right, T17 maps, you gotta care a little bit until you just start one-shotting everything, but other than and you self-cast your vulnerability. So you press buttons in T17s, but it's only for a few, and it's kind of fun. I'm not gonna lie. It's, you know, to have the actual difficulty, you know, you gotta try a little bit, you gotta care a little bit. It's kind of nice. I feel like they're in a lot better of a position, but I do have really nice gear, so, you know, that is a privileged position. I should probably change my anointment around, but yeah, anyways, Overleech, I'm probably getting some Vermilion rings today, and then I'm going to be grinding out gear for my second character, which is going to be a respec of this. Not even a respec, really. I'm just going to retool it to be a much more end game slammer. It should be really fun. and I'm very much looking forward to that. But I've got to make some currency to buy all the very big upgrades. Oh, for crafting an axe. Oh my gosh, it's 30 minutes in the video. Okay, who's even watching at this point for crafting an axe? All right, axe crafting. How do you make a big axe? Really simply, okay, grab a fractured and use contempt for flat fizz or zeal for attack speed, and then you could just craft fizz after you hit like one of the other mods, right? For my big axe, what I did was I spammed zeal for a hybrid, and then I just did a prefix lock, or you have to like annul down and then you veil chaos, right? It's a little bit of a veil chaos YOLO, but I got a pretty nice axe here. It didn't hit impale chance, but it's decent enough. It's 976 fizz DPS. You know, I have the enchant on there and everything. And I went with an Ezomite base because I was really sick of my Karui Chopper having such low attack speed. It made the leap slamming feel bad. It made my clear a lot worse and slower. And I'm just doing boxes, so I don't really need to have like a really slow attack weapon for that. And with the high attack speed, I do chug through all my exerts, but on Berserk, I get double exert. I chug through them pretty fast still. But I'm okay with that for having better map clear. I'm okay giving up some single target damage versus like a Vol Axe, for example, so that I have a faster attack speed, so that it's more fun and more comfortable. It's just the give and take that I decided would be worth it. Anyways, like, sub, let me know if you made it 30 minutes into the video. And, you know, hit me up on stream if you got some questions. Join the Discord if you need some help. It can be a little tricky, but it is worth it. It is fun, and I'm having an absolute blast. I'll see you guys in the live stream. All right, peace, homies.